Hey folks, it's Nate. It's time I got back to the drawing board, and tonight we're going to take a look at Norah's Saga from Allegiance Arts. This is with writing by Blake Northcott and art by Kelsey Shannon. So, starting right off the bat, let's look at the form factor. This is not a Kickstarted campaign. Well, it was Kickstarted. I didn't back the Kickstarter. I got this from the display at Walmart, and it's a really, really nice product. There are, right off the bat, two strikes against this that I do have to note. One is the price point. This is a $5 comic. For $5, you don't really get anything more than you would get from a comic from the big two, and those run about $4. That is a little bit of a negative, a strike against the comic, as it were. It's not great to pay 25% more for the same, roughly the same product. However, if there are things that this does considerably better in spite of the page count, that can justify the price point. That's one of the things I'm going to be talking about as we look at this. The other strike is, of course, the Red Rooster controversy, which I have already addressed in another video. If you're interested in my thoughts on that, you can look for the video Red Rooster versus Allegiance Arts on my channel, or I will link it in the description below. So let's talk about Norah's Saga itself, because really this work deserves to be judged on its own. First of all, let's talk about the artwork by Kelsey Shannon. Kelsey Shannon is a great artist, and he's done really good, solid work in this book. If you're familiar with any of his posters or his covers, it's not quite the same for probably, hopefully obvious reasons. You can't put the same level of time and attention to detail in interior work as you put into covers. This cover is really nice. It's not quite the quality that you're going to see on the inside. Let's have a quick look at the inside. Here's a picture of a page from early in the story, and it's pretty good. He's got a good grasp of layout, really a great grasp of layout. I love the layers to this page here on the left, the way there are panels and there are also people just sort of overlaid there, and it gives you a sense of multiple things happening at once, piled one on top of each other, and it shows the kind of frantic overlapping conversation in the cafeteria, if you will. It also kind of shows how this girl who is probably the it girl at school kind of floats apart from the rest of the crowd here. All in all, really great visual storytelling, and of course the art itself is quite attractive. But again, as you look at it, it's not quite the same as it is on the cover, or on maybe some of the posters you've seen him do. Not quite the same, still very good. Really, I can't complain about it at all. As for the story, Blake has written a really great story. It's set in Canada because Blake Northcott is a Canuck. It's about high school girls, which is not something I can really empathize with. I observed high school girls pretty much from the outside, and I wasn't really impressed with what I saw when I was in high school. So what you gonna do? But there is a lot of really great storytelling that works on any level here. Norah is a young girl whose mother dies in a car accident. She is the curator of a museum, and it leaves Norah with just her father, who is a mechanic, and they have to move, so she's in a new school, and she's lost her mother. She's grieving. She might even be depressed. Kind of hard to tell, but she has a lot of emotional problems, and we really get a great visual metaphor for this on this page. You can see this cracked phone. That's presumably the phone she had in the car accident where her mother died. And it kind of shows how her life has just sort of broken down since that. I like that. It's good, it's simple, it's effective. And the storytelling here is much the same. I want to show you my favorite page in this comic. And it's right here. It's where Norah and her father are having some disagreements in the wake of her mother's death, and this page right here is where they begin to make a connection. And The dialogue and the visual storytelling on this page is great because we have this panel that just shows that the world has dropped away. They're making a connection. They don't really understand what each person here, father and daughter, don't really understand what the other is going through. They've lost the same person, but it's affected them in totally different ways. Norah has lost someone who should really be her North Star, her guidepost in growing into an adult woman. And her father has lost, of course, his partner in life and his primary source of insight into his daughter. And here we have them, starting to make a connection and starting to support each other as they really need to recover from this loss. And it's a great page of storytelling. And this is actually the page that sold me on the next volume, because I have to confess, up until this point, I thought the story was pretty good, but I wasn't sure it was something that I was ever going to be able to really connect to. I wasn't sure that there was going to be anything to draw me personally back until I got to this page, and this sold it to me. So great job, Kelsey. You have great art here. Great job, Blake. Your writing and dialogue really sold me on this relationship dynamic. And if that's all this story was, it would probably be a decent story with some strong emotional resonance, but maybe not a whole lot to write home about. The twist comes in the last third. And of course, if you read any of the promotionals for this or you looked at the cover, you see we have some modern looking people on the top and Vikings on the bottom. So at the end, or close to the end, Norah and her father have another accident. A deer runs out into the road, which is very reminiscent of what happened when Norah's mother died, and they wind up sliding off the road and going into a lake. Someone is right there and calls for help, and firefighters come out and crack open the lake, and you see this firefighter fishing around, and then a hand reaching for Norah. She looks down and she sees what looks like the wreckage of a Viking ship, and she's pulled out of the water by Vikings, particularly this Viking who is named Torg. Is it not nifty? And this is Norah's transition from the present day to the past, where they think she's a witch. And, I don't know if they're going to burn her, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some great shenanigans. So she's taken home to the Vikings for judgment, and we end on a stinger page in the present day that suggests there's more here going on than what meets the eye. All in all, a pretty solid opening season premiere, as the sticker says, and a interesting story with both emotional and physical layers of conflict to it. I think it's a pretty good read. I enjoy it. I intend to get the second episode and see if it continues to maintain this level of quality. Hopefully it will, because I did enjoy myself quite a bit. I think I may have enjoyed it more if I was the target audience, namely a high school aged girl, but it's hard to say for sure. Regardless, I think it's pretty good, and it is worth the sticker price. And unless you just want an action story, I think pretty much anyone who reads this is going to enjoy it. So all in all, not bad. I do have my issues, as I said in my previous video, with the Allegiance Arts founders, but you know what? Kelsey and Blake sold me on this book, and I intend to continue picking it up. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, there's a like button and subscribe button down below. You can use them as you see fit. You can comment in the comment box down below, and I will talk to you later.